What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Buzz. Arman Tsarukyan has once again sounded off on Ilia Topuria, and this time, he didn't hold back. In a fiery new interview, Arman called Ilia a complete fake, claiming the confident, flashy persona Topuria shows on social media is nothing like the way he acts in real life. Arman even mocked Ilia's frequent private jet photos, saying Topuria doesn't own anything. He just rents jets, takes pictures, posts them online, and pretends he's living that lifestyle while acting like he is too big to fight anyone. According to Arman, the entire image is manufactured, and he's tired of the act. Meanwhile, a surprising development may be coming to the lightweight division. Top welterweight Sean Brady has revealed that he is seriously considering dropping to 155 pounds, and he says the chances of it happening are very high. Brady believes the cut is manageable, and stylistically, he finds the matchups at lightweight far more interesting. He's coming off a knockout loss to the undefeated Michael Morales, who is quietly building his own case as a future contender for Islam Makhachev's throne. If Brady truly makes the move down, the lightweight division becomes even more unpredictable and chaotic. When asked about his own plans, Tsarukyan remained focused on securing gold at 155. He stated that he is a true lightweight and wants to become champion in the division before defending the title as much as possible. He was also asked which victory would mean more to him, beating Islam Makhachev or Ilia Topuria. Despite having a longer history with Islam, Arman didn't hesitate. Defeating Ilia means more right now. He explained that Islam has moved to 170 and is unlikely to return to lightweight, but Ilia is someone he genuinely dislikes. Arman summed up his feelings bluntly. Ilia is fake. In real life, he behaves one way, but when the cameras turn on, he talks and acts like a completely different person. Before moving on to the next news, we have a quick request for you. We're always working to improve our content and truly value your support. If you could take a moment to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon, it would mean a lot to us. That way you'll never miss an update. Move on to another news. Shavkat Rakhmonov has stirred up major conversation after calling out Islam Makhachev and questioning the significance of his recent win over Jack Della Maddalena. Following UFC Qatar, Makhachev broke his silence and offered strong praise for Arman Tsarukyan. He said Arman did exactly what a true #1 contender is supposed to do and admitted he expected Tsarukyan to win, but not in the dominant fashion he displayed against Dan Hooker. Islam emphasized that Arman didn't just win. He made a powerful statement and proved he has fully earned his shot at the lightweight title. Makhachev then reflected on his own career decisions, admitting he regrets not moving up to welterweight sooner. For years, he pushed himself through brutal weight cuts, even during his championship run at 155. But in his recent welterweight debut, he felt equal in size to his opponent. That experience made him realize he could have made the jump long ago instead of draining himself for years. While Islam's arrival at 170 has grabbed global attention, Shavkat Rakhmonov has stepped in with sharp questions that immediately escalated the conversation. Rakhmonov suggested that Islam's victory over JDM might not have been as impressive as people think, implying that he wants to see how much of it was Islam's brilliance and how much was JDM underperformed. The idea of a showdown between Rakhmonov and Islam would be massive, especially across the Russian and Central Asian regions where both men are already huge stars. Years ago, even rumors about Shavkat fighting Khamzat Chimaev caused a huge stir in the entire Russian MM community. Now, with Islam as a two-division champion, Rakhmonov as one of the coldest undefeated killers on the roster, the possibility becomes even more electric. When asked about Islam's dominant performance at welterweight, Rakhmonov acknowledged that it was strong, but he questioned the full context. He said he wants to find out for himself whether Islam was truly that good or if JDM simply had an unusually bad night. Confident in his abilities, Shavkat described himself as a complete universal fighter who can make the fight difficult for Islam no matter where it goes. And now, he's openly interested in discovering what would really happen if the two ever meet inside the Octagon. Move on to another news. Mike Perry is not happy after receiving a tax bill of more than $800,000, and he made his frustration public. Posting a photo on X, Perry wrote that his tax bill felt like the biggest robbery in sports, adding that it made him look far richer than he actually is. He explained that everything was supposedly planned and organized by his tax team in Miami, but somewhere along the way, someone dropped the ball on managing his assets. Perry vented that he spent years training, taking punches, and bleeding in the cage only for the government to take the credit through taxes. One user replied, suggesting the document Perry posted appeared to be an IRS notice for unpaid taxes. Perry pushed back, saying he was up to date and that the bill was for 2024. Don't try to clown me, he added, saying the IRS was already doing that. Another user asked how many years the bill covered, how much money Perry earned, and how much he saved. Perry responded that the bill was for 1 year, and he had saved just over $1 million. What bothered him most was seeing that 37% of his income amounted to $629,000, which made him feel like something was clearly off. Frustrated, Perry said he was considering retirement and joked that he only fought so he could eventually go camping in the woods. He said the government acted as if he wasn't allowed to be rich. They were like, "Oh, you thought you were rich. Give us everything you have." Perry described the situation as the moment he was supposed to finally enjoy the money he earned, only for the problem to hit him hard. According to him, his accountant even said, "Hey Mike, we just saw the Jake Paul money," which left Perry stunned. He questioned how his team could have just noticed income that had been sitting there the whole time. Feeling overwhelmed, Perry said he now owes everything to the IRS due to the mistake. In his frustration, he even joked about selling everything he owns, withdrawing the rest from the bank, hiding it, going to prison for a short time, or simply disappearing off the grid. Move on to another news. A major development just dropped in the lightweight division, and it came straight from Arman Tsarukyan himself. Appearing on Daniel Cormier's channel, Tsarukyan revealed a bombshell about his backstage encounter with Ilia Topuria. A moment that recently went viral after footage showed Topuria playfully but provocatively putting his hand on Arman's neck. After the clip surfaced, Topuria went online claiming that Arman stayed quiet in person and only talks tough on social media. But Tsarukyan has now turned the entire narrative on its head. According to Arman, what actually happened backstage was very different from what Topuria portrayed. Tsarukyan explained that Ilia approached him with a friendly tone, saying, "Brother, how are you? This is just media, just hype." And then, in the same moment, Topuria reportedly confirmed that their fight is next. Arman said Ilia told him directly that he would defend his lightweight title against him as his first championship defense after knocking out Charles Oliveira. Tsarukyan responded by saying, "Yes, finally," realizing the matchup he and the fans have been waiting for is now official. This revelation suddenly makes sense of the UFC's recent silence on Topuria's next move. For weeks, the promotion held off on announcements, waiting to see what Arman would do at UFC Qatar. And he delivered in spectacular fashion, dominating Dan Hooker, making a loud statement, and proving without question that he is the top contender. Now, with Tsarukyan's performance and Topuria's backstage confirmation, all signs point to a done deal. According to Ilia himself, through what he told Arman, the UFC has confirmed Ilia Topuria versus Arman Tsarukyan for the lightweight championship. The fight is expected to take place in February 2026 and is being lined up to headline one of Paramount's first major events. It's the matchup fans have been calling for, and both fighters finally seem aligned on making it happen. As Tsarukyan said during the conversation with Cormier, "This is exactly what the fans want, and now the path to the lightweight title showdown is clearer than ever." Move on to another news. Michael Bisping and Paul Felder recently weighed in on Lerone Murphy's surprising hint that he might move up to lightweight for a one-off fight, saying the featherweight division has become too stagnant. Both analysts strongly believe this would be a major mistake. In their view, Murphy has spent years climbing through one of the UFC's toughest divisions, finally positioning himself as a legitimate title contender. Right now, he is one of the leading candidates for a shot at Alexander Volkanovski. Moving up to 155 for a random fight, they argue, would risk throwing away all the momentum he's worked so hard to build. Meanwhile, the rest of the featherweight landscape is shifting in unpredictable ways. Diego Lopes wants to stay active and recently told MMA Junkie that he hopes to fight once more before the end of the year to keep himself sharp for a potential rematch with Volkanovski. Volkanovski praised Diego's wild win over Silva, but also appears to be evaluating the entire contender pool, rather than jumping into an immediate rematch. Then there's Movsar Evloev, undefeated and considered by many to be the rightful #1 contender. Yet he's now in the longest inactive stretch of his career, approaching 11 months without a fight. Fans have begun grouping him with other inactive ranked fighters like Shavkat Rahman and Arnold Allen, calling for the UFC to force movement or even remove fighters from the rankings if they continue sitting out. Despite the criticism, a large portion of fans still see Evloev as the top contender ahead of Murphy and even Yair Rodriguez. Back in May, Evloev teased a non-title matchup after Volkanovski publicly pushed for it, but nothing has been finalized. For now, early 2026 appears to be the window to watch for major moves in the division. Murphy, frustrated by delays, has said featherweight feels too stagnant and that he wants to stay active, ideally fighting in December. With no matchup offered yet, He's considering jumping to lightweight simply to remain busy. Bisping and Felder understand his desire to stay active but warn that he is too close to a title shot to risk disrupting his trajectory. They believe he should keep the pressure on and push for clarity regarding Volkanovski's next opponent. Move on to another news. Sean Brady has revealed that he's seriously considering a move down to the lightweight division. Reflecting on his recent loss, Brady admitted he was frustrated in the moment, but ultimately accepts that getting caught with a punch is part of fight game. He explained that every fighter knows the risk going in, and although it stung, he has far more wins than losses and refuses to dwell on it. What bothers him most isn't the loss itself, but that he didn't get the chance to showcase the work he put into his training camp. Looking back, he says there were things he should have done differently, shooting earlier, adjusting his approach, and using the tools he prepared. Not being able to display his full skill set is the part that hurts him the most. Despite the setback, Brady is healthy, uninjured, and already back in the gym. He began training last week and plans to fight early in the new year. His focus now is simply getting back in the octagon and showing how good he truly is, not to prove anything to critics, but to demonstrate the talent he knows he possesses. Brady believes wholeheartedly that he will become a world champion someday, and views this loss as just another bump in the road. He also revealed that recent testing at the UFC Performance Institute showed he is at the upper limit of muscle mass for a welterweight. However, when it comes to physical dimensions, especially height, he is one of the smaller fighters in the top 10. He noted that most top welterweights stand over 6 feet tall, which has made him consider whether he might be better suited physically for lightweight. While dropping to 155 pounds would be extremely difficult, he says the decision would be based purely on body proportions, not skill or strength. In his words, he can outstrength heavyweights, but size and reach at 170 are a different challenge. Brady also emphasized that his last opponent, Morales, is an unusual physical outlier. According to what Brady heard backstage, Morales weighed around 210 pounds on fight night, highlighting just how massive some welterweights can be. Move on to another news. Daniel Cormier believes Arman Tsarukyan is the toughest challenge Ilia Topuria could face at lightweight. According to Cormier, while Paddy Pimblett is talented and has a bright future in the sport, the division's two most complete fighters right now are Arman Tsarukyan and Ilia Topuria. He emphasized that Islam Makhachev has moved to welterweight and that the true elite contenders at 155 pounds are Tsarukyan and Topuria, and that's not even a question anymore, Cormier said. Cormier admitted he found it unusual that Paddy Pimblett entered the octagon after Topuria won the lightweight title. In his view, defeating Michael Chandler did not justify Paddy being placed in that position. He felt the UFC would have a tough time moving away from that visual, Paddy standing with Ilia, as fans might assume that matchup was the next logical fight. But Cormier said everything changed after watching Arman Tsarukyan's most recent performance. He described Tsarukyan as big, powerful, and extremely well-rounded. He highlighted Tsarukyan's elite wrestling, strong striking, and overall physical dominance. What stands out most, Cormier explained, is Tsarukyan's top control, something he believes creates serious problems for any opponent, including Topuria. Cormier noted that this is where the matchup becomes especially dangerous for Ilia's fan base. In his view, if there is anyone in the lightweight division capable of replicating, even partially, the style and effectiveness of Islam Makhachev, it's Arman Tsarukyan. His ability to mix high-level wrestling with striking and relentless pressure makes him a uniquely tough stylistic threat. Cormier concluded that Tsarukyan possesses the tools, physicality, and fight IQ to push Ilia Topuria in ways few others can. For him, this potential matchup represents the most challenging and intriguing fight available at lightweight. Move on to another news. Dan Hooker and Renato Moicano appear to be on collision course after both publicly expressed interest in fighting each other next. Following Hooker's recent submission loss to Arman Tsarukyan, he provided an update on his condition and made it clear he's ready to return quickly. Hooker explained that after the fight he went to the hospital, underwent scans, and was relieved to hear everything was fine. Doctors informed him his nose was broken, to which Hooker joked that it happened during the weigh-ins, not the fight. He admitted there wasn't much to analyze. He took a swing at the #1 lightweight in the world, came up short, and accepted the outcome with no excuses. "Swing big, Miss Big," he said. "It is what it is." Hooker revealed that after leaving the hospital, he received a call from Hunter Campbell. Campbell asked if he was okay, and Hooker, still processing the loss, responded with humor by saying, "Renato Moicano sucks." He then added, "Let me give Moicano a hiding. Let's have an old man fight." Hooker emphasized that he doesn't want to hold up the division and is willing to fight someone ranked below him. For him, Moicano is the perfect matchup. He also expressed his desire to compete closer to home and hopes the UFC books the fight for the Sydney event in February. Hooker believes the matchup has all the ingredients for excitement: trash talk, wild exchanges, and a battle between two veterans who have both taken tough losses to elite fighters. "We both suck. We both got cooked," Hooker joked, referring to Moicano's loss to Islam Makhachev and his own defeat against Tsarukyan. "We'll have a cook-off." Moicano responded quickly via X, posting a short and confident message aimed directly at Hooker: "Easy money." The exchange has fueled fan interest, and with both fighters eager and healthy, the bout is gaining momentum as a potential addition to the upcoming Sydney card.